Hello guys, welcome to this video. In this video we'll be downloading one latest Android malicious sample and we'll be analyzing it. Uh, for this demo, I have downloaded the malicious sample from the Malware Bazaar, and here you can see these all are the latest samples, latest Android malwares which have been captured and stored here. I have downloaded the second one, which is published on the same month. So have already downloaded. I will be giving you the link in the description if you want to download. And I have created one new folder. Inside this I pasted this application and I renamed to mal.apk. So first let's analyze using the VirusTotal. You can see most of the antivirus destinations are detecting this application, and everyone from this thing you can see it is an Android generic, Android agent, Android spy agent. So you can say that this is the most dangerous application, and from the Malware Bazaar also we can observe this is the second one I have downloaded. So these are the normal details regarding this thing, and the intelligence, from the intelligence you can see there are the different vendors. So here it is stealing information stealer, and from here you can say it is detected and it is also malicious, and here also it is showing some of the information regarding the malware. Here also it is showing Android Trojan. So it is a very dangerous application which should not be installed on a device. So let's download. If you want to download, you can download from here, or I will be giving you the link in the description. Let's begin. One small suggestion, like if you are new to Android penetration testing or Android analysis, so I have made a playlist inside that. From the first video you can go and watch that, so that it will be easy for you. And after downloading, I have done the static analysis small part. Like we'll be using after taking the malicious application, we will be unzipping the application, and another copy will be that thing will be decompiling using the APK tool. So all these things I have mentioned in the previous video, second video. So if you are new here, you can watch that videos. So now we have unzipped because Android is a package of different files. So like it is a zip file. If you want to see what are the contents are there, if you unzip the application, you can see these are all the files which will be available in most of all the applications, and the Android manifest file is the most important one to look. If you simply unzip, then we can't read the manifest file. It will be in an encrypted format. So that's the reason we'll be using the decompilers like APK tool in order to read the data in the plain text format. I have opened the unzipped file. Yeah, let's wait until it opens. If you don't know how to install and how to use APK tool and Dex2Jar, JDGUI, which we'll be using in this tutorial in order to perform the analysis, please watch the second video. And if you're very new to this Android penetration testing, go with the first video. I suggest you watch the whole playlist so that you will be getting more knowledge, and it will be easy for you to understand the application. Yeah, here it opens. You can see nothing we can't read from here because it will be in the encrypted format. So let's close this. That's the reason we will be decompiling the application. In the first folder you can see mal_decompile. So here inside this, if you open the Android manifest file, this thing is readable. And yeah, regarding this manifest files, what are the files and folders available in the Android application, and what are the permissions, intents, services, broadcast receivers, all these things I have mentioned in the previous videos. Please watch that so that it will be easy for you to understand this tutorial. So from this application we can see there are different permissions the application is using. Out of this, there are some of the permissions they can use, like permission_internet, permission_contact. If we take a generic application, if the application wants to take your contact, for example take WhatsApp, so it should fetch the contact from your device. So in that case this thing is acceptable, and you will be connecting inside the internet. The sender may be at one place, the receiver may be at one place. So these kind of permissions are acceptable, but here there are some malicious permissions which should not be available. here we can see phone state. So using this phone state permission, the attacker can get the IMEI number of your application and he will get the phone related information. And the next permission, wake lock is there, and disable key guard. These permissions are related to your pin, security, screen lock, this kind of uh, security measures you will be implementing in your Android, right? To protect, you will be using screen lock like pattern, zip, password. Using this thing, the attacker can get what you are using and he can modify these kind of things he can do. And read call logs is used, and there are many kind of malicious permissions given in this application. We will see inside the application. And also one more thing, whenever an application is launched, the first activity means it's a screen. Whenever an application is launched, you can see the first screen right inside an Android from your user point of view. So that thing is mentioned here, Android intent action main category launcher. It means whenever an application is launched, this activity is loaded, main activities. So let's copy this and see. And also to read the at first what we are doing is we are converting the what dex file into the jar file, because the Android runs on the DVM, right, Dalvik virtual machine. So the in the Android point of view, the source code will be in the form of dex files. So what we are doing is we are converting the dex file into the jar file using dex to jar. I have already done because it will take some time. So to process speed for this video I have used, and if you want the command I can give you, and you have to give the input as classes.dex. If you press this thing, then it will convert the dex file into the jar file, and watch the previous tutorial to understand this in depth. Yeah, now we have converted the dex file into jar file, and let's open the GUI, JD GUI. Like we are using this JD GUI in order to view the jar files, right? So for the reason we are using this. You can get this all these tools. You will be getting some clarity and knowledge from the previous videos. That's the reason I'm saying you to watch previous videos before getting into this thing, or else it will be very difficult for you to understand what's happening. So now we are launching the Java in order to open the converted jar file inside this using this tool. Yeah, this is the Java decompiler. So let's open the file. Locate the file. Yeah, malicious unzip. So inside this we can see classes dex2jar. This has been created by the D2J application. Yeah, now we can observe on the left. These all are the different types of folders and subfolders and all the activities classes which are available inside this application. So the developer has done the code authentication for this application in order to like whenever a pen tester or any developer, if you want to read the code and observe the behavior, it will be difficult for him. So that's the reason here you can see A dot class, B dot class. So we can't understand exactly what the from where the execution is happening, from where the data is moving from one class to another class, another method. So that's the reason code authentication is used using the ProGuard. So let us use the search option, and let's go to Android manifest file. So whenever an application is launched, so this is the activity at first it is loaded. So let's copy this thing and we will analyze that one first. Yeah, here you can see. So instead of time wasting and all, instead of searching individually, if we use the search button, from this we can observe directly. So inside this VIP support, out of these two, there are different things. So to make the time utilizing, we are using the search thing. Yeah, we have got this thing, main activity class. So this is the class when our application is launched, it is loaded. So what the attack from the source code we can see, they have declared one web view. It means that this application is using one web browser. Usually web views are used to embed the web browsers, like you will be having Chrome, you will be having Firefox in your Android application. So if you want to use that inside your application, you will be using web view. So from this we can understand, okay, they are using one web view, they are using one intent. Intents are usually used to navigate and to transmit the data between different screens or different applications. So yeah, and also if you remember from the Android development we have saw, whenever an application is launched, the main thing to look is on create method. So this is a method, it will be loaded from here. Yeah, okay, from here we can observe. So the variable b, they have done code of execution, so it will be little bit difficult for us, but don't worry, we can analyze. So they are using one intent. From this, yeah, if intent is null, then what they are doing is they are connecting to the different class, main services dot class. So I think from there the intent data is parsed. Okay, okay, we will see one by one. First we will see the onCreate method so that it will be easy for us. What it is happening when an application is launched. Yeah, they are starting the service, so this services will be coming from this class. Let's see that later. And after that you can see telephone manager. So telephony manager is used in Android applications to get the cellular related. For example, if you take your Android application, what kind of network operator you are using, like if you are using Airtel, Jio, these kind of things, it will be getting from this uh, telephony manager package. So from here you can see the method directly. The attacker is directly trying to get what kind of SIM or cellular network you are using, like Airtel, Jio. So he is capturing this thing. From this we can observe, and also the most, let's move down. Yeah, he is gathering our sim related details, as well as, yeah, here he is using the web view. Okay, and from the web view what we can observe is, yeah, out of the browsers available on your device like Internet Explorer, he is by default he is setting to load the Chrome browser. Okay, whenever an Chrome browser is loaded, then what he is doing is he is loading the URL. Yeah, we can see here. So the URL is actually available inside this application itself. They are mentioning like file, Android asset, and he is loading one web page. So let's see that. Malicious precompiled set. Yeah, I think this is the HTML page it is loading. Let's confirm once again. Yeah, this is the HTML page it is loading, and before opening the HTML page inside the browser, you have to look for some of the things. Here they have mentioned this thing, what said JavaScript enabled. So if this web page contains any malicious JavaScript, for example, if this has some malicious JavaScripts, what the attacker can do is he can steal the cookies from your device, and in your browsers, in your Chrome, mostly the people will be logging in from Chrome browser, right? So what are the user passwords and what are the important cookies, session IDs which are available in your browser? All the data will be stealed by the attacker because the JavaScript is enabled. So this is called WebView vulnerability, which we discussed previous. So make sure that you should not open in the web browser. And if you want, we can see this thing. Yeah, you can see set save password. To save the password, he is using this thing, set save form data, which means that whatever the input fields you are entering inside the browser, like login password or search box or credit card information, you will be entering inside a input field, right? So all these fields will be saved here, and also the attacker can get your geolocation, where exactly you are in what latitude and longitude. The exact location of your presence of the device will be captured by this thing. So that's the reason I said you should not open directly inside a browser. Yeah, let's get to that. Okay, so what we'll be doing is we will open using any kind of uh, editors. So let's open with cat. Okay, this is a script, HTML script. Inside this thing, what is happening is this is the metadata. No need to worry. Yeah, from here we can see. So they are trying to load an URL, which is okay. It's in a dot. This is a current folder. After that, there is one alert.png. It means that whenever that page is loaded inside and inside and browser inside your device, so for you it will display only image, but in the back end we can observe it will save your input fields, whatever the login IDs and passwords which are saved previously, what are the cookies available, these things he can steal. So let's go and see what this image actually contains. Yeah, in the current directory we saw this is the folder. Inside this thing we can see alert.png, and do not open anything directly. Try to use any editor or any different things, because if you open the PNG, we are not sure inside this PNG image there could be some malicious backdoor or malicious some kind of activity may process. So let's analyze in a normal way. Okay, so yeah, we can't read this thing. Okay, let it be. And here also we can observe some kind of strings. So let's use the strings to find what are the important strings available. Using these are no use as of now. And from here we can see some kind of packet they are using, packet begin, packet ending. It means something is happening inside this application. So what we'll be doing is one thing you have to do, like in this case we have to perform some kind of forensic, what do we call, image forensic also, because here this is a image, right, and something is happening inside the image, so that should not be happening. So what we'll be doing is we will be doing, yeah, exif tool. So this is the tool which is used in image forensics. Let's see, using this tool we can see, yeah, using this tool we can see all the metadata regarding this thing. So it has been created 20210325, yeah, because we have unzipped today, right, and we have decompiled, so that is the reason it is showing. And here for file permissions, read write only, file type image, MIME header is image, and some of the important things which you can look is creator tool, creator date. Yeah, from here you can see this image is created on 2019 year. Okay, so one more thing to look up is, yeah, in this case in this case some of the metadata is missing, but in some of the images if we analyze, there we can see the location also, location and on what device it is created and on what latitude and longitude where it is exactly created, this kind of things you can see. And here also you can see this is not captured actually, this is taken from Adobe Photoshop, which means we have done some kind of editing inside the Adobe Photoshop. So this is the some of the metadata we gathered, but I think this is not enough. So let's analyze using the hex editor. Yeah, now you can see the PNG image we have opened with hex editor. What we'll be analyzing is all the images, audio in each and every file will be having a file structure. So let's analyze. If you take the PNG image, here we can see all the PNG images will be beginning with .png and it will be ending with .iend.b. We are not getting deep into the file structure, file analysis, because we will see that in the forensic analysis. As of now, to analyze this malware, we are only checking with how the file structure will be there, what are the importance to be taken care, and also inside the PNG image, all the data chunks, like if it has any data or if it is any encoded data, and that thing will be inside the IHDR. Yeah, as of this image, it is also starting with .png, it's fine, and it also contains some kind of data segments. Let's go to down. Yeah, and here .iand.b. So inside this, what it is happening is inside the data segment, the attacker is doing some kind of malicious activities. So let's check that if anything happening. And there is also one other tool called Binwall, which is a forensic tool. Let's use this and see whether it is having anything malicious. Yeah, you can see inside this image we have the image as well as one compressed one compressed file, which means that let's go to jar file. think it got closed. Okay, let's get into the main class again. Yeah, so what is happening is inside using this thing, it is loading the inside this there is one image. So what it is happening is inside the browser you can see the image, and in the backend it will be taking all this which we have discussed before, and as well as the zip file will be the zip file will be extracted. So what this application is doing is it is inserting one more backdoor. So using this application, again that application is been again which is for the zip file, right? That thing will be extracted here, and again one more the second malicious application will be installing. If we see the manifest file inside this, they have gives only some of the permissions and some of the broadcast receiver, some of the services they have declared. Maybe in that application there might be different permissions or different activities, or it might do something. uh, so here using one application, the attacker is installing one more application. That thing we will see. That thing we will see later how he is installing. So let's go. Yeah, we have done with this thing. Okay, we will look for the interesting thing. We have already done. Okay, now let's see the methods. What kind of methods they are using? They are using this data strings also. In order to pass the data between one application to another application, we have observed using the web view they are installing one more APK inside this application, and the data captured from this application, uh, here you can see from there they are transmitting to the another application using the intents, as well as we will see further what kind of things we can get. Yeah, here they are get content category openable image star. We saw just now, right? Image star. Like using that image, what they are doing is they are activating one more activity. They are installing that application, and they are using the intents to pass the data from one application to another application. This is what it is happening. And like I think all these things we have saw. Yeah. The one more thing to look on this application is they are using this broadcast receivers, right? So using this broadcast receivers, they can see phone state, as well as we saw now phone state there. What is broadcast receivers? How it will be performing? This thing we are explaining in the previous video. And outgoing call. The attacker can see all this. Who is the user present? Unlock. Whether the screen is off or on. Whether the system is boot completed. Whether the system is on. Whether they have performed the reboot or shutting down the device. Any configuration change, battery change. Whether the battery, uh, all the malicious things it is happening, and also it is also looking for the medium, whether it has any SD card, whether it is adding or deleting, and along with this the attacker can also perform actions inside this device, because here we can see here they have gave different permissions. Read permissions they have declared, write permissions they have declared. So this is one of the thing to look upon. And here also you can see using the broadcast receivers, they are seeing screen, whether the screen is off or on, and also whether the device is idle. And yeah, let's see next. Yeah, from this, that's all. Okay, this is the thing. And also what will this thing we have done, this thing we have done. Okay, let's see. So here we can observe like they are using some data streams, right? Let's look. And this is also case sensitive. If you type small s, then it may give some other results. If you type the capital S, it may give some other results. So these things you have to take care. And we found, okay, here something is happening. Okay, let's come again. Okay, this is regarding string. Yeah, you can see here what kind of notifications they are actually looking at: alarms, calls, emails, errors, events, messages, navigation, progress, promo, reminder, service, social. From this, we can get some idea like what are the things it may be happening using this malicious application. And also they are using Android audio audio contents. If there is any audio in your device, that thing also they can see, background image, URL, text, countdown, actions, title, hidden conversation title. So all these things are used by the attacker. Media sessions also. There are many things. Input history, text lines, templates. These are all the subfields they are adding actually. And whether they are checking silent, maybe running in the background service, or whether there is a chance he may be looking whether your device is silent or not. So these extras he is actually adding using this package, this thing you can see here. So get action. So these all are the actions he have declared, and using these things he is actually getting. So he is using notification manager. We have saw this thing right in the first video when we saw the Android architecture: package manager, notification manager. We saw right. So that at the time I said you, these things will be used by the applications whenever he want, whenever it is declared. So he is using all kind of this inbuilt packages to perform the malicious activities. And okay, let's move further. What else? I think there is one more method called remote input. Let's see that next. Allow generated replies, show user interface. He's also looking for what kind of version the device is. If the version is, the SDK is greater than this thing, he is performing some kind of actions. If the SDK is greater than 26, he is performing some kind of actions. Because if you see the Android 6, Android 7, Android 8, so what do we say? Above the Android 6, uh, the user can, like when we go into the settings, if you see the application permissions, the user can manually, if he thinks like this permission should not be given, he can close the permission. But if you get into the previous version, Android 4, Android 5, once the application has been installed, the user cannot, what do we call, the user cannot close the permissions. Instead, he must uninstall the app, or if you want to use the application, it's mandatory that all the permissions should be given. So based on the development of the Android 7, Android 8, Android 9, so the permissions before. That's why he is giving different kind of actions based on the SDK. If the SDK is version 29, some kind of actions it may happen. So if the SDK is 26, that's the reason he gave this thing. And also he is using extras, group keys also they are using, as well as extensions, invisible actions. From the invisible actions, yeah, you can see, if it is Jelly Bean, he can do this thing. And local only, maybe he is passing from one application to the second application. Okay, all these things he is doing the notification thing all over this. What else? Yeah, this is all related to notification section. Any anyhow we will see that later. Yeah, using all the okay, let's see. Again, we'll come back to manifest file. Here is all related to broadcast receivers. That's what some of them we already saw. Some of them is yet to see. We'll be seeing right now. He is also using the services. So using the services, like if he is using such services means some kind of data communication or connection establishment has been happening from the attacker to the victim device, which means all this data will be captured here, right? Till now what we observed, it is taking contacts, SMS, email, everything it is fetching and it is storing into the data stream and it is transmitting, right? Maybe from this application to attacker or this application to the second backdoor application. From there it has to go somewhere, right? So this kind of thing happening. For that we need to open sockets. Yeah, sockets also, usually sockets is used to establish the TCP communication. It will have one IP address and it will be having the port number from where it has to connect. Let's look up on the let's see this side. Yeah, here he is using sockets, datagram sockets, input streams, output streams. Like if an attacker want to execute some commands or if you want to install or push some data inside this victim device, or he may also take the data from here to the attacker place. So to do the thing, he will be using this data the sockets and he will be pushing using the datagrams. He will be inserting into a datagram and he will be sending. Nothing interesting here. It's just you can see all it is connecting input stream, output stream, listening, send urgent data, maybe some kind of OTPs, this kind of thing. And also one more thing, send urgent data. If we talk about this thing, if you install WhatsApp or if you install Zomato, any application, whenever a new user is logged in, you will be getting OTP, right? In some of the applications, the user will enter manually. He will open his message application. From there, he will see the OTP and he will enter. In some cases, some of the applications will fetch automatically from the message application, right? That's due to the broadcast receivers. So he is also using the broadcast receivers, right? So what he can do is, instead of typing the OTPs, he can capture the OTPs and he can send there. Maybe with this urgent data method, or if you enter any input fields, maybe that fields also can be compromised, and there are different things we have to look for. Yeah, we will close what we saw. Notification class we have already saw. Input we have saw, and let's go to another thing. So from this you can see inside this also sockets are using, inside this also sockets are using, inside C also there are I think he is using many times. Let's observe what's happening actually. He's also observing the traffic statistics, sorry, and he is passing to a new datagram wrapper. So okay, inside this also nothing much interested. Let's see another. So here we can observe he is using code of application, right? So that's the reason we are following this search tree, because we don't know what the C will be doing, D will be doing. We can't, if you manually enter and search sockets for each and every file, it will be difficult. That's the reason we are using here. Yeah. Now let's see sockets. Service, what it is happening. This dot B, maybe all these methods we saw. One is for the intent and one is for the getting the contact. Different things. Okay. Here they have declared the variables. Let's analyze cost. Maybe a request. Maybe HTTP request. Response. Yeah. If you take the HTTP protocol, the data is transmitted and it is fetched back using the request and response, right? The attacker may request something from here and he may respond. Yeah, response is based on the content type. Like if you want images, then in the place of content type he may give images. In the previously we saw, right, image slash star, And if you want any other things, let's find unexpected end of stream. Maybe due to some what do we call, some data issues, due to the failure of network, or due to by turning off the mobile data or turning off the Wi-Fi. Yeah, here also is expected, and he is also calculating this bytes received, and he is also closing the communication. All these things we can see. He is also using things expected. These things also okay. Let's look another. We are also using the socket. Let's look out for the. Yeah, he is creating the sockets. Maybe he is pushing whatever he is fetching from here, and L function, which function which we previously saw. Sorry, which method. Yeah, he is establishing the connect. HTTP close connection, failed to authenticate proxy, unexpected ELNS buffered, maybe 2 bytes connection, proxy connection fast, keep alive. Okay. See, you can see here the attacker is directly implementing the connection with the victim device in order to get the data. Okay, whenever, yeah, from this we can observe when the connection is established, then maybe the data stream will be happening. So we have to look up for the attacker actually from for which IP address he is taking. Yeah, here we can see address, socket timeout exception, connection, service system suppression. What is out of range? We may, how do you call it? It's the port. Service B method, nothing custom. Go to E method. Here you can see in how many classes he is actually using. In J class we already. Here we can observe get input stream is in, that has been declared here, output stream has been declared here. It's very big application, so it is taking time. Fail to close the. Let's look up here. Hardware IDs also is taking, like what kind of components you are having, and Android ID also is taking. API alarm receive, get request API receive method. Also battery level change, move forward current status. Yeah, this method we have saw base64 decode. Let's try to decode this thing. Let's see what it contains. Here, and also, yeah, inside this object, he's also putting icon of the, what do you call it? Icon of the application name. Okay, Yeah, this is the thing. Yeah, this is the important point to look up, because the attacker is fetching what all are the applications installed in your mobile device, and what kind of version, what kind of packages, when he has installed. Yeah, first install it, when the application has been installed, uh, when it is last updated. Yeah, is it third party application, or it is taken from the Google Play Store. This kind of things he is also looking, and also command utilities he is also feedback, and is first installed. Okay, so maybe if the application is still now not installed, maybe he is doing some kind of attack or something. If we do the dynamic analysis, we will get some more information, and also is adding the contact feedback also. So one more string. Yeah, okay, let's put this one. Let's decode. Okay, you can see this is the IP address of the attacker, maybe 103.159.80.35. Very good. Yeah, yeah, right. So he is using string builder. Yeah, okay. From here we can observe in the place what he is doing is the attacker IP address he has encoded, so that even if we perform the testing we can't see directly. But what he have done is he have done the base 64. When anyhow already we have in online, or we can write a program to decode the base 64. We have decoded right now, and we got the attacker IP address, and he is also okay. We can observe this is the IP address, and this is the port address. This is the path from where it has to go, and he is what he is doing. Here he have already made a he separated, and here we can see he is also building to string, which means all these things will be attached directly. Then you can observe how it will be added. And let's look what it is. What it is actually trying to do is it is again building to the string. We have done this thing. After that, semicolon. After that, 6988 semicolon 6988. It's actually making the URL something like this. So what this application is doing is it is gathering all the data, whatever the attacker want to take in a using this one, using the socket. He is establishing the connection, and he is connecting to this IP address and for this port. And in the previous and in the previous classes we have already observed, like what are the data he wants to capture, how they are sending input stream, output stream, how this has to happen. These things are observed here, and here also he is testing whether his IP address is on a what do you call, whether it may be reachable or unreachable. And if it has some error, what they have to do, maybe they will be doing the backup plans, right, where we have to store. Yeah, backup plans means we look for them. Well, yeah, let's see where the data is. Yeah, maybe if the maybe uh, uh, like the victim device can't connect it to the attacker, then he may store inside the device itself. That thing also we can see here. Yeah, we look for that next. And he is also using the package manager. Yeah, just now we saw it. Package manager we have saw. Package manager is used to uh, see what are the applications are available inside the device. If you want to add an application, if you want to delete an application, using this package manager they are able to do. Yeah, we have done with this thing. And also here also something we are using. Maybe this is one another IP address, and this is another port, or something like that. Okay, yeah. Content call log call. Maybe here the call logs may be stored. Whatever he is getting from the mobile device, he is passing the data to this thing to save the call logs. And delete call log feedback. Okay, maybe logs or something, or delete contact feedback. Maybe deleting contact. or deleting the packages. We observed, right, the attacker will be getting all the contacts, packages, whatever he want to add, he may delete, or he may do some kind of modification. That's what it is happening. And here service manager is using get service, phone service, and what else, live messages is also seeing. Maybe before we saw one method was urgent data. Instead that he may pass this live messages, send us, yeah, yeah. If the attacker executes this case, then he may send SMS, he may stop streaming, get third party app list, get current status, switch camera. The attacker is also having the access to camera also. He may see the camera, he may turn on manually whenever he wants, he may delete the contact. This thing something maybe we are not sure. I think it's from the ASCII format or any some other format. Call history also he is getting, delete call IDs, get default dialers, start streaming, delete third party app, commands, he is executing the commands, he is recording, maybe screen recording, adding the contact, yeah, live stream recording, or maybe he may record the call call connection also. We are not sure. Yeah, he is maybe, yeah, live. Maybe it means to local live stream. He is also taking the contacts, maybe name and number. Okay, to case 7, case 2. Okay, let it be. You can see here he is performing send SMS cam list. He is seeing how many cams do we have, one camera, two camera. In the modern smartphones to be having some 3-4 cameras. Okay, this is one of the things to look up. And yeah, now we look for the database, what they are actually storing. Yeah, we'll clear this TCP connection sockets. Get logger, maybe recording any logs, call logs or keystroke or anything, hash map. Okay, I will tell you that when we see the hash map. Here will be storing, that's when you have to get. Okay, maybe for saving he is using all these variables. At what time it is saving, what kind of thing, what are the list. Maybe this is that hash map. After that, it may be executing this socket.io in order to connect to the attacker, cleaning the logs. Yeah, we saw this packet. Yeah, we saw this packet in the another malicious application, right? Maybe all these things it is transferring from this application to the backdoor application which we saw using the forensic kind of a thing. And if these two applications are not connecting, then he may reconnect, something like that. Yeah, writing packet. In the strings we observed, right, something of packets it is happening. Maybe it is writing the packet and sending to the second application, and from there it may be transmitting, or from here also it may be transmitting. From this application also it will be transmitting, because we saw already the URL from where the socket has to be connected. Maybe he is using as that application as a backup. Connection error you can see. Looking for where actually the data is stored. See another thing found. There are many things. Think if we look for this thing, it will take much time, because you can see this SQL database related things are available in different subfolders, and inside of the different subfolders also there are different classes. So we will skip for now. Yeah, see here also we can see, okay, the data is putting into JSON objects, and uh, they are putting into the objects and they are passing. That's what we observed. But we are unable to get where exactly it is storing. What kind of acknowledgements we are using, kind of transmission thing, connecting, disconnecting. Let's see another. What else we can see? Okay, let's search for contact. Nothing found. Here is for audio then. Really clear to me. In this it may be having some kind of data related to audio. Will not fingerprint. Not sure, maybe it may be related to fingerprints also. Maybe, yeah. We may be also capturing the fingerprints which will be stored on our internal device. This application is very big code. It will take huge time to analyze. Yeah, here we can observe. This is the thing I'm looking for. This is a hash map. Usually hash maps are used to hash maps are used in Android to carry the data. For example, we have saw the previously we have saw the socket. So if you connect to the socket, what all are the data you want to transmit? If you want to transmit from his the victim device to the attacker device, he will be using hash maps. Hash maps generally used for these scenarios. Yeah, he is taking this thing. What kind of telephone service you are using? What is your usage statistics? Also, he is capturing. App widget he is capturing. Battery manager also. Camera also he is taking. Job scheduler, launcher applications, media projection, telecom, TV input, whether if your device is connected to TV related to that. Because here directly you can see the managers or the package managers. They are directly using package managers. And Bluetooth also he's affecting display, user, media router, service discovery, audio, account, activity, clipboard, connectivity, device policy, download. You can see whatever we saw on the manifest file. Yeah, here we saw many things. All these permissions are here, but inside this thing, the attacker didn't give. If you observe closely, the attacker didn't give camera permissions, and some of the permissions which in this application he has not given in manifest file. But here he is actually connecting to Bluetooth camera. So this is due to this application is whenever this application is launched, it is installing the backdoor, right? Maybe these permissions are given in the second malicious backdoor application. So from there he is getting all this data using these two applications. He is actually getting the data and he is transmitting. See, power notification, location also he is using. Yeah, I think with this file we can close this session because whatever we are looking for, everything we found here. If we see the another file, what we can see is from where the account is getting, from where the accessibility, from where this date, from where these things are getting, we can observe. But I think it's already video has become very long, so we'll close here. This is an important thing to look for. These are a malicious application. USB managers also, wallpapers, Wi-Fi, peer-to-peer network, Windows. Yeah, this is a major important application. From this application we observed, right, how much danger it could be. It is very dangerous application. It has almost all the permissions. Whatever the attacker can do, he can do easily with this thing. So that's all with the video. Thank you.